Hi, today we are in Madrid with Coches. Iñaki, who are you and what do you do?
I always present myself as first as a wife, a happy husband of my wife, and a proud father of three. Because we tend on speaking about our businesses, but now because we came here to speak about business, I'm the founder of Coches.com, and also I'm the founder of a small VC in Spain, which is called Vitamin K or Vitamina K in Spanish.
Okay. What did you do before you started your Coches?
Different things. I used to work in the finance business. I was trader in European stocks.
Okay, interesting. Let's talk about the business model of Coches. It is a marketplace where you can sell and buy cars. Is there something unique in this business model?
The differential part is in the new car business. Coches.com has a new car and a used car part, and the new car one is the one that has the most differential part, because what we do is that we make the dealers fight for the user. They have a reverse auction that they know that their prices only appear if they are the best ones.
Yeah.
With that, the user always gets the best price, and it's supposedly not that good for dealers, but dealers get more people interested in the cars. And the used cars is the place where you and me can sell our cars, but especially the dealers pay us a subscription fee to advertise the cars, like monthly fee revenue.
Can you briefly walk us through how you started and build up the liquidity in this market, and then how you expanded in terms of regions or products?
It was like a joke, because my father was going to buy a car, a friend of mine was going to buy the same car, and like my father, is the kind of guy that fights with everybody in the street, and he has always been a seller, and he used to speak with lots of dealers, and he tried to get the best price, and my friend was the opposite, and there was like a big difference between the price that my father was acquiring for the same car that my friend.
Yeah.
And what we said is that, hey, we could do this as an auction, and that's the way we started only in the new car business. And after that, this was with a small domain, which was called autodescuento.com. It's like autodiscount.com or something like that. And after that, we could buy coches.com, and we could also do that in the used car business.
Okay, and in terms of regions, how do you expand, and where are you currently active?
We're only based in Spain. We are the leaders in the new cars, and we are not the leaders in the used car part. The Coches.net, which is Schibsted-owned business, is the leader. And we started with nothing, with no money, and what we did at the beginning was only phone business, and we got like a strange webpage, and we bootstrapped from the beginning, and what we did is that every time we earned money, we invested in people, especially in people at our office, and after that, trying to acquire users by the webpage.
How hard was it to acquire the first 50 dealers?
We made a party when we got the first customer, the first dealer that called us. We were like super happy because it was not that hard, because Spain in that moment was in a nice mood in the car business, and they didn't like the internet, but they thought we could help them, and especially we didn't begin in a subscription model, just in a CPA model. Okay. So they were happy with that, because if they sold cars, they would pay, and they didn't have a problem with that. The problem was when we changed the model, because Spain was not in a nice moment, in a nice economic moment, and we needed all them to pay a monthly fee amount, and that was the hard part. But I don't know. We celebrate a lot of things at our office, not only the 50 first.
Okay, and so I understand how you basically try to acquire the dealers, and on the other side of the model, how did you acquire the first, I don't know, 10,000 or 100,000 individuals that were looking for cars on your platform?
Well, Coches.com is a really SEO-oriented page because as the name is Coches, and which means cars in English, it has a nice opportunity with that, and it doesn't have a problem to acquire users by SEO. But we did different things. We went to the street and we flyered everybody. We did several things, but the most important the part came by SEO.
Okay. And if you today split your traffic coming from different sources, how much is SEO or social currently?
About 60% is
60%?
SEO, yeah, and social media is nothing like, it's like 10% or something like that, and the other ones comes from SEM and from direct traffic, and yeah.
Okay, interesting. Your revenue model, you changed, said that you changed your revenue model and the pricing model. How does it work today? And can you briefly describe how you try to differentiate pricing between different dealers?
Like half of our income comes from the dealers that they pay monthly fees, and the other half comes from how do you say that, from the brands that they want to do specific things, because we have a lot of data from the users that are going to buy a car right now or have been interested in buying a car like some years ago.
Advertising or?
Yeah, but for example, if you bought a car 4 years ago, you are a target of a brand. For example, they pay us for advertising or for calling them. Sometimes we call them by phone. And because they pay us a lot more, and of course there's always banners and those things, but most of the money comes from dealers and brands, around 80% or something like that. And of course there's insurance money and finance money, but that should be around 10% of the model.
Is this kind of unique that you're using this kind of transactional data and try to predict when the next purchase will be?
Yeah. Our competitors don't work with this, but they just have an advertising model, and that's what for them. Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about the corporate strategy. So, what do you think is what are the major 2 or 3 drivers for creating competitive advantage for Coches?
I think we only have one, is trying to think on the user, because our competitors do not think that much on the user, and they think more on the client, which is the dealer. Yeah. What I told you before about the model that we work in a reverse auction, it's supposedly not to be something nice for lots of dealers, and we know that that's a problem sometimes, but we prefer not working with those dealers, and not forgetting our user, which is the one that is paying the money, even that the service is free for them. And with that, I could tell you more things about that, but it's always focusing on the user.
Okay, and is it only that you try to deliver the cheapest price, or is there some kind of user experience?
Yeah, of course, the user experience is something that we need, and we focus on a lot in that. But without the product, this won't work, and we are like super crazy with these things. We have very few advertising the webpage, because we think that users don't need to fight with you to try to acquire your product. But without for example, the reverse auction, we think usability won't matter.
And imagine another competitor from Germany or the UK or so would like to enter Spain, because you are only currently in Spain. Would they have some kind of economies of scale that would generate some competitive advantage over you, or do you think no? It is not important to have an international or global scale in winning this market.
You can have some knowledge of how your market works, but when you enter a different market, the most difficult part is to select the street, because we tend to analyze the internet business as something that always is scale, it's always kind of scale. But the fact is that sometimes when you don't understand that you need to go to the street to sell. Yeah. And for example, right now when you go to visit a dealer, he doesn't have money to pay to all of it, or to all of us, so he needs to choose. So if you don't give him some advantage or something that is different, which in market is not that common, they won't buy you.
One question regarding this revenue model, as you said, there's some kind of subscription kind of element. Yeah. What are the terms? Is it something like a monthly, or is it annually or so?
Well, they can pay annually, and they have a different price, but most of them pay monthly, and they're happy with that. They have like a year contract, but they used to pay. We bill them once a month.
Yeah, because this strategy would be quite cool for protecting your business model, because then the switching costs would be higher.
Yeah, and they can change once a year, but they're happy with that. We focus a lot on the user, and we help them buying cars, so we have our customers more happy with that. For example, we were speaking before about that. Try to think that one thing we do is speaking with the users, which is kind of strange for an internet business, because it's like you call people. Yeah. Yes, we do, because we understand how our web page is working. We ask them if they are buying cars, and when they do, what we know is that our business is working, and our dealers will pay more for our model.
And you said that Coches is the market leader for new cars, right, but not for used cars.
Correct.
How hard is it coming from new cars to conquer the market for used cars?
A lot, especially because in Spain we had a really important problem in an economic way, and dealers don't have money for all of us. And when you need to sell your product, they tell you, hey, but I'm only paying for one because I haven't got money for more than that. And even if you're great, someone is greater than you, and I'm not going to pay for that.
Okay, so basically, is that the market for used cars and new cars in Spain is very concentrated, because if the dealers can only pay for one or two suppliers.
I don't mean that all of them are in this position, but some of them are, especially in the used cars, and for example in the used cars business in Spain there should be around 8,000 dealers or something like that, and probably 25% of them won't have money at least for one, no more.
And how many players are there in Spain for the new cars and for the used car segment?
We compete with three more. One is the Schibsted web pages, which right now are Coches.net and Milanuncios.com. They bought an independent group right now. The Auto Scout, which is a more international. Which is a more international way that the third one, which is Autocasión, which is owned by one of the main media companies in Spain, which is called Vocento. We are like four.
Okay. Let's talk about the market development in Spain for the used cars and for the used cars over the last 5 years. So how large is the market? How did it grow? How's the profitability, and maybe how do you perceive the future development?
On the new or in the used?
Both.
Something important changed with the economic change. We in Spain, like in 2007, there were 1.5 million cars, 1.5 new cars sold a year. That has come down to 700,000, like half of it. But in the used car, it has switched. used to be like 1 million, and now there's like 2 million. Spain was one of the strangest countries in Europe, because we were like selling two new cars for every one used cars, and for example in UK that's 5 used to one new.
Okay.
And we changed that a lot, and that also what happened is that lots of dealers have disappeared, but there's bigger groups of dealers right now, so you have less clients but more powerful ones.
And how do you perceive the future for the next 2, 3, 4 years?
What I would love is that cars can get sold on the internet directly, and we could make the transactions for the brands, but that will depend on the economic moment, and also between the relationship between dealers and brands. And I cannot tell you when that is going to happen, because we have been telling everybody that this is going to happen tomorrow, and it hasn't happened for a lot of years. But not only in Spain, in the rest of the world, cars don't get sold by the internet directly, except from Tesla and things like that.
Okay, and do you think that this is mainly driven by the brands being afraid of putting the brands directly on the platform?
Well, the brands need the dealers, and they need to have lots of places to sell the cars in the streets. And if they don't, I guess there could be other models, but right now they got like this relationship that's not that easy to break.
I think if I would be a brand, I would if I would do this directly on a platform, I would cannibalize my dealer network,
right.
And then if I annoy them, maybe I will lose revenues with them. Yeah.
Right. I guess the model in the future will be that brands could show the cars on the web pages, on other web pages like Coches.com, but the differential part will be if they're going to show them physically, and how. Because probably what they could do is they could deliver cars to your house and to mine, and if we pay some money up front, and after that, like, they can make us a discount if we buy that car, but they need to get away all the dealers, and that for the moment is not that easy.
Okay. Iñaki, we always try to share some insights from entrepreneurs for new first-time entrepreneurs, so they can become better entrepreneurs. You have a specific learning about building teams, and I would like to know your advice for first-time entrepreneurs on that.
I have probably 2 advices. One is that you should focus on your team. The most important part is that you are not the best one of your team, and you need to work with nice people. And the other one is that you don't need to read a lot of TechCrunch, and probably you can bootstrap your company without a problem, and try to find a product, and if it's good, you will make your money.
Totally agree. So I love bootstrapping as well. Thank you very much, Iñaki.
Thank you.
And next time you're in Spain and looking for a new car, visit Coches.com.
We love you. Thank you.